Welcome back. Welcome back to day two, and this is some WNXL action going on here in Tampa Bay, Florida. You're about to watch New Jersey High Rollers take on the San Francisco Sirens. High Rollers immediately dropping their Dorito player. 4 alive, 5 alive on the other side for the Sirens, though. Sirens up to this 50, this standing wedge on the snake side. I don't think the High Rollers have any idea, which puts a lot of danger for their snake insert player, number 11. That's Vadia. She needs to get into the snake, and she doesn't know, but there's a gun waiting for her. Good push-up into the snake tower by the High Rollers, though. Another player peeling off the backside of the Sirens. Number 17, Kelly Nicole, taking a walk over there for the Sirens. Ludke. High Rollers starting to push up. They take this mini can up in the middle. Nobody ever takes this mini can. She's going to bypass it, go for the run through. A trade is totally fine in that situation for the High Rollers. They're up bodies already. You might as well start clearing them out. Vadia makes a slide sideways, and now she's up into the snake. There you go, Veda. Up to the 50. Don't bump it. San Francisco Siren in the snake 3. She has no idea. She's going to get blown up. Vadia. Veda's going to also blow up that mini temple in the back. Is it? No, she's staying in there alive. Fighting her way back out. High Rollers in a strong position now. San Francisco Sirens have to get some lucky gunfights, or they have to catch some of the High Rollers in transition, meaning moving one bunker to the next to dig this one out. Three players across the 50 for the High Rollers. I really wouldn't blame the Sirens coach for toweling out of this one just to save their last players some pain. Save some clock. She's going to move sideways into that D1. It's a better defensible position. That's a good decision. Sirens still in a desperate situation. High Rollers crossing the 50 now on the snake. This encirclement is closing very, very quickly. Fodder reloading. This is not a very hopeful situation for the Sirens. I know as a coach, you want to give your players a chance. And this is probably going to be a bunkering coming through. Bunkering. Yeah, it's going to happen. There's a concession. However, there is a major thrown. There is a major thrown. I believe that major was just thrown on the Sirens, which is worst case scenario for that. Not only did you lose the point, you're going to have to start the next point down 2. This is definitely, if that's the case, this is definitely some regret on behalf of the coach of Sirens. I could be wrong. Let's see where the poll comes from, though. It's a question of which way does that flag go. I'm watching the ref doing the reenactment, the live reenactment. It looks like we had a gun spin. I think that's going to be the Siren player. All right, sure enough. Looks like the Sirens are going to have to start down 2. So after this, we hit our last game of the day, and that's the Heroines versus Immortal Angels and Suricatos versus Northern Lights. Just an update. I'm reading coach body language. I think it's pretty clear the Sirens are going to start down 2 players, which is 100% the worst case scenario. You're going to lose the first point, and you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're likely going to lose that second point. All right, rolling out now. You have the second half of this match. It's going to be Dallas Vibe versus Baltimore Nevermores. Baltimore, a relatively new team. They've got a tough challenge in front of them. Vibe is a lot of legit veterans of this sport. Wow. Triple up for a Nevermore at home. Dallas doing a great job with her secondaries. I'm not sure whether her snake player got in there clean. She's going to get a check. She looks guilty. Yeah, sure enough, she's out. All right, so good shooting by Nevermores. Unfortunately, they're going to pull a minor. They're going to lose a couple players immediately, putting them in a 3-on-4 situation. There may just be 2 players left over there for Nevermores. This is Dallas Vibe having their way on this one. They did lose their first player, but other than that, it's all going their way. Up to 50 in the middle now. Oh, another Nevermore walking out. This situation's spinning out of control. There it is. Nevermore coach towels out of that one. Right thing to do. Vibe players in the middle not really fully agreeing with the flag, I guess. He wants to stay out there and fight some more. There's 20 seconds, and the Sirens are not even rolling out any players right now. There we go. Now they're out there. I think they went to the wrong box. It is 3. 3 Sirens taking on 5 high rollers. Both teams late to the box. Sirens make it out 3 alive. That's the good news for them so far. They're in D1, home, and the mini temple over here on the snake side. 5 alive for the high rollers. Into the snake for the Sirens. Sirens up to S3. She's wrapping. Nobody knows her for the high rollers. She has a chance to do some damage, get to this 50, maybe flip this game around. Oh, she's wrapping, and she puts herself in danger. That's going to get her blown up. A little bit too ambitious wrap. She did not know that the snake was hot in front of her. That's Jamie. Jamie's going to take a walk. Now, at this point, you got 2 players left alive for Sirens. I do see 2 players taking a walk for high rollers. This isn't horrible odds. It's real early in the match with lots of time on the clock, so the coach for the Sirens can go ahead and give her players some time to see if they can make something happen. Here's a push up the snake. She's going to get caught. Now you got to towel out of it. Save time. This is a lost cause. You do have that D50 over there on the Dorito side, but Vada is going to blow her up once she sees her. Fortunately, she wraps just the right time. Ducks can't pick her up. Oh, she crosses the 30. I take back my towel comments. This is going all Sirens' way. However, she doesn't know the 50 for Snake. I think she's going to get blown up. Vada's going to take a run for the buzzer. She doesn't know it, but she doesn't need to run. That's it. Sirens. Hey, great game by the Sirens. They had no business coming that close to winning that game, starting 3-on-5. For the high rollers, you got to talk about what went wrong. That was way too close when you're starting up 5-on-3. I know moral victories aren't worth much on the scoreboard, but that was definitely a moral victory for the Sirens. Good play. Oh, there we are. Yeah, I'm on air. All right. I want to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors. That's Ballsack. Ballsack has come out with their version 2.0. This is a pod filler and carrier. It's meant to replace the traditional I'm a lost for words, which is my job. That's not good. Anyways, this is a wonderful I do believe in this product. I'm not just shilling. I am a shill, but I do actually believe this one. Holds up to a case of paint. It's got a dispenser here to fill tubes. No, your tubes don't normally come tied to it. That's just so our production staff doesn't steal the tubes. You can fill here. It's got a magnetic base inside, which softens the blow of you dumping paint inside of it. And that's removable, too, if you need to clean it. So you can go on their website, ball-sac.com. They're currently sold out here at the event. And you can use NXL Tampa as a code and get 10% off a pre-order. Again, some products I'm like, yeah, that's cool. This one I really do like, especially because you can pack it down and actually get it in your suitcase if you got to travel. So ball-sac.com. Check them out. I think this is an excellent product. Bear with us. We're in a little bit of a technical timeout. The refs are trying to do some bunker repair. Late in the day, as the sun starts going down, these bunkers are going to start deflating. That's Boyle's Law, PV equals NRT. We learned that in the Deflategate scandal. That was a hatchet job. Tom Brady, free Tom Brady. Anyways, another shout out to one of our sponsors, Paintball with a Purpose. Paintball for a Purpose, led by Tammy Adamson, is a organization that tries to help really anybody they're willing to, but they're concentrating right now on paintball players, both in their personal life and professional life. If you need somebody, need some help, you need somebody to talk to, they're there for you. Paintball for a Purpose. Thank you. All right, technical timeout over. We are back to the Baltimore Nevermores versus the Dallas Vibe game. 14 minutes on the clock, which is an eternity. Vibe up by 1 point. Big run by the Nevermores up the middle, taking both towers in the middle. 5 alive for both teams. Vibe sliding up to this 50. Oh no, there's a miner that's going to gut the backfield of the Nevermores. Good start for them, being foiled by 1 flag. So Dallas Vibe up 5-3. They're also up to the 50, although she's asking for a check. They have lost their first player. That's Korsman taking a walk. Now their middle 50 players getting checked. I think she's going to be called clean. There it is. The bad news for her, even though she's clean, her position's been given away, and she comes out right into a gun waiting for her. There's a bit of a trade there, so another Nevermore player taking a walk. That leaves 2 Nevermore players in really bad positions to defend themselves. This tower in the middle is super vulnerable, especially now that the snake is hot. The only thing keeping her alive right now is the fact that the Dallas Vibe player in the 50 snake brick doesn't know she's there. She's going to know that she's there in a second. Wilkins is going to blow her up. That is the last player for Nevermore. She attempts to drop back to the Dorito, which is a good attempt, but unfortunately for her, Wilkins is going to blow up her back while running. That's going to be it. That flag was a backbreaker for Nevermore. They had some good shooting. They took some kills away from Vibe, but they just couldn't overcome that flag, and that's it. Vibe is definitely one of the best teams in the league, so there's no shame in dropping another point to them. But if you're Nevermores, this isn't about just trying to win it. This is about pride. They need to come back and put some points on the board. All right. High rollers on your left. San Francisco Sirens down by 2 points on your right. 10 minutes on the clock. Sirens need to put something together. They really can't afford to drop down 3-0 in this match. A little bit of an ugly run out for the high rollers of the Dorito, but she gets in there clean. 5 clean for both sides. High rollers with a pretty standard spread across the back. They're in that Dorito 1 and up into the snake tower. Sirens a little bit more aggressive breakout. They are in this snake's eye standing wedge. She's setting a trap for that Mini Temple. Mini Temple knows she's under fire, but I don't think she quite knows where it's coming from. That's number 11. I believe that's Vada. Vada, she's got to be very careful coming out into this stream. It's waiting for her. First player walking off for high rollers. They've lost their home. They still have this mini temple. Both mini temples, D1 and the tower up the middle near the snake side. Siren's doing a very good job putting on the pressure. Sobe Glass up in that snake tower. She's in a little bit of danger here, especially if the snake can get a gun up. Fortunately for Sobe, a ref went in to check that Siren player in the snake. That gave her the intel about where she's under threat. She's going to have to live behind her gun here. There's way too much pressure coming in from the snake, and now the snake side. Sobe is in trouble. Sirens player at that S4. I think she's safe to make the bump. There's really nothing coming in at her. Go ahead and get to that 50 brick wrap and start doing damage. Veda is the widest player here for high rollers. It's not going to be enough. Oh, the Sirens lose their middle 50 player. Even more imperative that they go ahead and take the snake brick, wrap, and start doing damage. Oh, she thinks better of it, switches back to the inside. I believe that's cost her for Sirens. Needs to be slightly more aggressive here. Vada takes the opportunity to get out to the snake herself. That's bad news for Sirens. Veda's going to look over the top. Looking for targets, putting paint on the tower. I'm not sure there's anything there for her to shoot at. There's a good assumption, though. Sirens play. Koster's going to take a walk. Veda lives through it. Now she's going to be the one wrapping, trying to blow up that mini temple. That mini temple is going to die ugly. For the high rolls in Veda, this is a familiar position. She's been up here at the snake brick already in this match a few times, doing this exact same kind of damage. She doesn't know it, but she did blow up that Dorito. Now there is a middle 50 stand-up that is a horrible position to be in at the end of the game, and she's going to take a walk. That's it. High rollers are going to go up 3-0 on this one with 7 minutes on the clock. Sirens don't have an answer. 7 minutes is enough for a comeback, but they cannot, for the Sirens, they cannot afford to lose another point. Another point in this match is effectively over. Dallas 5 on your left with a 2-point lead, 12.5 minutes on the clock. That's a lot of time for Baltimore, but they got to show a little bit more. Wow. Quadruple gun start for Dallas 5. They're going to lose one of their players immediately off the break. I'm not sure that netted them any kills. If you're going to go that heavy of a gun off the break, you have to get kills. You're giving up a ton of territory. Yeah, Dallas 5 down a couple players. This is not going well for Vibe. That is an interesting breakout, and maybe it's okay to experiment in this situation, but did not pay dividends. Nevermore's also into the snake. They're pushing past the S1 into the S2. Dallas 5 pushing up the middle to that standing wedge at the 40-yard line center. 5 occupying both mini temples. Not for long, though, because Vibe is going to lose both of them with a minor. That leaves just the 50-yard line player, and that is an awful position to be in. She's going to get swarmed. The Vibe coach does not have an incentive to towel out of this. He or she might as well leave her player in there. See if she can pick up some surprise kills, and if nothing else, grind out some of the clock. Nevermore is trying to figure it out. They're going to get there. They're going to get to the buzzer. I'm not sure. There's a siren. There's a Vibe player still alive. She does shoot her. Now she's going to jump over the 50. That's it. She's going to get blown up. That was the right move by the Vibe coach to let that roll out, even though it was about 4-1 at that point. Kills some time. Here we go. Baltimore climbing back into this with a 1-2. Oh, the refs are having a discussion. I'm not sure it was a clean hang. The refs are trying to sort out that ending. My best guess is it maybe was a non-clean hang. That would be the only explanation for such consternation over the end of that one. Point has not been awarded to Baltimore yet. That's a no point. Given a chance, I'm going to go ahead and interview our ultimate ref, Mikael. Try to find out what the heck just happened on that one. It's a no point. They're going to start the same side. I don't know what the call is, but it's got to be a dirty hang. That's the best explanation for it. All right, Sirens versus High Rollers. Sirens in a deep hole here, 0-3, 7 minutes on the clock. That's enough time for comeback if you can keep these to about 2 minutes a point. Sirens strong up the middle, doubling up, and they're going to 50. They're going to lose their first player trying to get to that snake tower. They do get to the front middle. That's number 17. That's Bruno Resende. Sirens also into the snake now. That might be Jamie. Player walking off for both teams at this point, so we're 4-4. Nice wrap by Jamie. She's going to blow that up. Nope, man. Jamie's not getting that kill. Mini Temple still holding strong. Sirens now 250s occupied. So Jamie's got cover from that middle standing wedge of her teammate. Honestly, High Rollers just got to dig in. They're in no position to try to bunker out these threats. They're just going to have to dig in and win some gunfights. Jamie's going to try wrapping. That's a little bit risky. Gets away with it. High Rollers at both mini temples in that middle home. Yeah, the only answer right now for the High Rollers, catch players in transition, win some gunfights. Jamie's going to look left. She's going to blow up that middle player. For the High Rollers, mostly what you want right now is just kill some more clock. You can afford to give up a point. What you can't do is afford to give up a point with quick time. And this point is dragging long. We're at the 5-minute mark. Even with a win here, that's going to put the Sirens at a 2-point disadvantage with less than 5 minutes on the clock. That's assuming it happens fast. Every second the High Rollers can dig out of this game improves their chances of winning this match. It's got to be on more than just Jamie to finish this out. She's crossed the 50. She needs some of her teammates, especially on the Dorito side, to do the same. They got 2 players over there. They can afford to take risks, especially up bodies. Instead, the D1 drops back to the mini temple for the Sirens. Jamie trying to push the matter all on her own. She's going to chewed up doing it. Now her teammate's going to launch to the middle. Also chewed up doing it. That is not the way to close it out. Sirens Dorito side has got to do something to win this game. High Roller peeling off. That's number 14, Taylor Hofer. Allison Young trying to finish it herself, going up the middle. Janae Curtis taking a walk, however, for the High Rollers. That's it. Siren's going to win this, but it's not a great win because it took a long, long time. Sirens are going to find themselves down 2 points with 3 minutes 46 on the clock. That should be enough. That's not impossible, but it would have helped them a lot if they could have finished that out maybe a minute faster. All right, Dallas 5 on your left, Baltimore Nevermore on your right. Dallas in the gray and red and black jerseys. They're going to split out. They're up by a couple points. Nevermore looking for their first point of this match. 5 alive for both teams. Doubled up now in this mini temple for Vibe. They have to look to moving out of there. First player dropping for Nevermore, so slight body advantage for Vibe. Good work by Vibe getting into the snake alive. There's a ref coming in. They're losing their Dorito side. Ref coming in to check that mini temple. Still alive. So 4 on 4. Nevermore's into snake 1 mini brick. Oh, she's going to take a hopper hit and have to take a walk. Another Nevermore down. That's Elizabeth Maisner. So 10 minutes on the clock. Vibe up by 2 points. Of course, ideally, Nevermore doesn't want to drop this point, but there's enough clock to come back if they do. I believe we have Tejada working the snake over here for Vibe. Starting to look. I don't think there's no paint coming in. She's free to move up to that brick. She's going to choose the inside lane. Vibe just squeezing this vice tighter and tighter. Again, it's in their best interest to kill clock. They might as well kill Nevermores while they're at it, and they are. 2 more Nevermore players walking off the field. There you go. Baltimore is going to towel out of that one. Right call, save some of the clock. Still a manageable clock situation for Nevermore. They're down by 3 points. They're going to have plenty of time to come back, but they got to come up with a solution, and so far they haven't figured it out against Vibe. Jersey High Rollers on your left, Sirens on your right. Sirens have pulled a point back. They got 3 minutes and 46 seconds to figure out how to get 2 more points. There's a pod runner not off the field fast enough, and that can result in penalties, by the way. We've seen it already this weekend. 5 alive for High Rollers. Looks like we have 4 alive over here for Sirens. Sirens up to the snake tower. Now making a move sideways into that mini temple on the Dorito side. They are up to the 50 wedge and immediately pays dividends for the Sirens. They take out the mini temple, poised to take the snake. Sirens are not only just doing well, they're doing it fast, and that's what's important right now with about 3 minutes left on the clock. Sirens stacked up the middle. They have no threat over here on the snake. The good news for them is the High Rollers have nothing themselves out on the snake side. That's allowing this middle player for the Sirens to kind of freelance. Look Dorito side, look wrap around the outside, try to put it down the middle. Dorito player for High Rollers now knows she's in trouble. Home player, number 15, Jessica Salinas, moving out to this mini temple. There's a run through a successful bunkering, not even a trade. Unfortunately for Sirens, that was their biggest threat on the field. And that's a trade. Sobe Glass going to take a walk. She's not thrilled about it, but that was a close enough shooting that I don't think the refs can call that either way. But frankly, that plays in favor of the Sirens. They needed Sobe out of there. They got her out of there. Unfortunately for them, Maria's now up into this brick. Yeah. Salinas wrapping, looking for something to kill. She may have overextended. This shot came in, but she survived. She's got to hide behind that mini wall the skinny way and win a gunfight. And she's going to lose that gunfight. That's another trend we've seen on this field today. A lot of players overextending in the snake and dying. There's the D50 over there for the High Rollers trying to put this one away. She does have backup, so she can take risks. That's Carly. So Sirens D2 desperately trying to live. Carly's looking for anything else to shoot at. Again, she can take risks. She's got a back player backing her up. There you go. Last Siren walking off, and they towel out of it one. Sirens are going to go down 1-4. Not a place you want to be. Nevermore's back starting to be pushed up against the wall in this one. They're at 9 minutes, 18 seconds. They're down by 3. Your margin for error is dropping to nothing if you're the Nevermores. Nice sign of respect on the sideline here as both teams walking off, fist bumping. Looks like Nevermores have a clean break, 5-on-5. 5 takes advantage, though. They're in the snake first. Now Nevermore's matchup by getting into S1 themselves. 5 a little bit farther up. They're into the S3. Nevermore stopping at S2. Nevermores have that snake tower that can help control the damage that can be done over here by what I believe might be Tejada for Vibe. She's going to choose to take the inside lane. Small bump up for Nevermores. They're into the S4 mini wall now. S3 mini wall. Oh, she overextends. Tries to wrap around the outside. It's going to cost her. 4 left alive over here for Nevermores. They lost their best threat in the snake, and oh, this is bad for them. Vibe's starting to wrap the outside of that brick. Yeah, they're going to... Nevermore is not only going to lose their tower, they're going to lose more players due to penalty. Just 2 Nevermore players left alive. There's 8 on the clock. If you're Vibe, slow it down. One more point on the board puts this match almost out of reach. And that's it. Last Nevermore going to take a walk off the field. Vibe's going to win it. They're going to go up 4-0. There's no reason for them to push the buzzer. If you're the Nevermore coach, you need to towel. There you go. The towel comes in. Nevermores are going to be down 4 points with 7.5 on the clock. So by score and by time, that's still doable, but Nevermores needs to show that they can win a point and not much less win 4 points in a row. Nevermore coach needs to go back to the clipboard, figure out a breakout, figure out something different. You can't do the same breakout. You got to come up with something different, something aggressive. You've got nothing to lose. If you're in the Alabama area, check out Alabama Paintball at alabamapaintball.com for whatever group event that you want, especially, obviously, birthday parties, big part of learning how to play paintball. I'd say a large amount of the people playing here today probably started out at birthday parties. Alabamapaintball.com is there to help you out on that. Check them out. They support us. Try to support them. All right, Sirens down by 3 points. They're on your left. High Rollers have the luxury of just spreading it wide and slowing it down. Sirens sending it up the middle. They've had success getting up to the middle so far. They do it again. Snake Tower getting a check for High Rollers. She's going to take a walk. Dead player for both teams means we're at 4-on-4. Advantage Sirens, though, with their positioning up the middle and now up the Snake. Good aggressive play from the Sirens. This is essentially academic here. They're playing for pride. Even a point on the board will not win them the match with 30 seconds left. But they're going to send it. Good for them. Sirens now wrapping the outside of this brick. We're at 20 seconds. Another Siren player walking off. She's going to send it. She's going to send it right into a gun, though. Totally reasonable for Jamie. There's no reason not to do it, even getting shot. We're now at 7 seconds. Sirens need some run-throughs here if they're going to pull this off. And there it is. High Rollers hold on. They put the clamps down. Do not let Sirens get another point. That's going to end that match with High Rollers in. On the flip side, we have Dallas Vibe dominant against Baltimore Nevermores. 7.5 minutes on the clock, up by 4. Baltimore Nevermore's backs fully against the wall, down by 4 points. Time isn't an issue yet, but this score is a major issue. What's worse is Vibe 5 alive on the breakout. 5 alive both teams. Nevermore's kind of in pocket play, not a super aggressive. They do get out to this corner, immediately start crawling into the Snake. I like that play, and I don't think enough teams have taken advantage of the opportunity to crawl from the Snake corner into that Snake mini brick. The Vibe starting to counter with moves of their own. They're up the middle to that 40 standing wedge in the dead center. She's going to put pressure on the Snake. However, it's a little late because she doesn't know it, but the Snake is already hot and crawling. I like this good aggressive play by Nevermores. However, they're going to lose their middle player. I believe that might be in the Snake Tower that's taking a walk. Vibe completely unaware of this Snake player. I liked how aggressive she was up to this point. Now she's slowing down. She's got to keep going. She's going to wrap. She may not be able to see that middle player for Vibe. Nope, drop and crawl. Good choice. Now she sees her. Now she's locked onto the Dorito. That Vibe player up the middle. Now she knows. No, she does not. She suspects. But she's uncertain. The Vibe player can't really stop this this Nevermore player from wrapping anyways. Now we're starting to see Nevermore players support by moving up the field. Vibe middle player takes a walk. That certainly frees up our Nevermore to wrap this Dorito, this bunker in the Snake side and start ripping it up. Vibe attempts to cross out this mini Dorito. It's an awful place to be in a defensive position. Nevermore player fully standing up on the outside of this bunker. She does have to worry about the Doritos trying to put paint on her from her right side. Another Nevermore dropping. It's really up to the Snake player to do it all. Nevermore up the middle in the standing wedge. They're here at the Snake 50 brick. Snake 50 brick has a chance to wrap this and start doing a bunch of damage. She's got to get past this mini Dorito. This mini Dorito is an awful place to try to live. The best thing for the Vibe players, though, is to not engage with this Snake. She just chooses to stay in the cross. That means even though she's not shooting at the Snake player here for Nevermore, the Nevermore player can't be too bold and try to advance off of it. Nevermore now starting to filter up the center. Well, this mini Dorito continues its 0% success rate of defensive play. Nevermore's going to take this one, at least get the score back to 1-4. 4 minutes on the clock. That was a great point for Nevermore. They have to go back into the next point with more confidence now. They did everything right on that one. Good aggression out of the Nevermore player. In this snake. Well done. We're in X-Ball, so there's going to be about a 2-minute break by both teams scrambled to try to reload, clean up, get ready. Come back out, flip sides. Hey, thanks again to one of our sponsors, BKI. BKI is primarily an online university teaching all sorts of paintball skills, how to read fields, how to be better at gunfights. And on top of it, they do run a developmental camp each summer. BKI summer camp, really well attended, both up in the Northeast area and now down in Texas. They're bringing a lot of pro players. You can see right there on screen, Kyle Spica teaching the kids what to do, what not to do. Very popular, well attended, great event. Check them out. If you get a chance, go check out Pittsburgh Paintball Supply. They have a exclusive drop of the JT Macedons in both black and white. You can't get them anywhere else. We've been advertising them for about a day, so there's a good chance you can't even get them there. Those things sell out very, very fast. So if you're near a computer, which you must be because you're watching this, go check them out. Thanks to another one of our sponsors, Paintball for Purpose. Paintball for Purpose, led by Tammy Adamson, trying to help players in this community who might need help, who might need to talk, might need help organizing their personal life. Paintball for Purpose, they're for a good cause, led by one of the elders of the sport. I don't mean that in all way. I just mean the Adamson family goes way, way back in the sport. And she's doing, Tammy Adamson is doing a sport of service and helping this community. So thank you. All right, back onto the field. You got Baltimore Nevermores on your left, Dallas Vibe on your right. Vibe up 4-1. However, Nevermores had a great point just a few minutes ago. That's got to give them some confidence to come out here and do it again. Aggressive snake play was the key that last time. Nevermores are going to lose their Dorito side, and now they're going to lose their snake corner. Just 3 Nevermores left alive. They do manage to take one of the Vibe players with them. Not a great trade, though, especially because they've lost their tapes. Nevermore's going to drop a home player. This is a desperate situation. They now just have the home and that snake side tower. Vibe is going to punish them really fast by getting to the snake brick. That leaves just the home, and her back is to the brick. Not good. I believe she got her ponytail blown up first. I guess that's better than taking it to the throat or something, but nonetheless, Nevermore's going to get blown off. That point did not go well for them. There you go. Nevermore's going to concede out of that one. That brings the score to 1-5. Once again, the Nevermore's back against the wall. They're 1 point away from being mercied out. There's 3:12 on the clock. Great off-the-break shooting by Vibe. That just immediately crippled the chances of the Nevermores to get out there and do some damage. The game before, Nevermores had great success getting to the snake, getting up the snake, and doing damage quick, including up the middle. That game, that was not even an option. That was taken off the table immediately by Dallas Vibe shooters. All right, after this match, you're going to watch the Heroines take on the Immortal Angels and Suricatos take on Northern Lights. We are deep into the WNXL schedule. These teams are running out of chances to get into the playoffs. Thank you for sticking around. Tomorrow we're going to have a lot of playoff action for you right back here. Make sure you come back. Make sure you favorite MajorLeaguePaintball.com. Make sure you write down the web address, put it on a note, and shove it under your pillow. First thing in the morning, wake up and log on. We'll be right back here. Thanks again to Ballsack for sponsoring this match. Ballsack coming out with the new 2.0 version. It's available on their website, ball-sack.com. Great pod loader that you can roll up. It's waterproof. And best of all, you can get 10% off by going there and pre-ordering for the next one using NXL Tampa as a code. Here we go. Vibe on the left. Vibe just needs to survive. Vibe is doubling up at home. First player walking off for Nevermore. Nevermore in a desperate situation here. Vibe's going to continue pushing up the middle. Nevermore down 2 players, down 3 players. You've got the D1 and the Snake Tower left for Nevermore. In these kind of situations, your best hope as a team, and they lost a Dorito, your best hope as a team to catch the other team being sloppy in their transitions. But Vibe isn't forced to make those bumps right now. And there it is, number 108 going to walk off for Nevermore. That's the end of this match for them. Nevermore should go back and look at their point a couple points ago and feel good about it. They were real aggressive. They got through the guns of Vibe and then continue to push upfield through the middle and up the snake and win it. If I'm Nevermore's, I got to look at that and take away some pride from that. Use it as a game plan for moving forward. All right, well, that is going to be the phase. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations to Dallas Vibe. We are going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, you're going to see a familiar face, whether you like them or not. I do. And we're going to have more WNXL action. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be right back.